Hi, Iris Benrubi here, your host on Building Relationships in Isolation. And today I'm really excited. I've gotten to know Chandra Lynn for a long time, and I'm really excited to bring her to you because she's going to talk about pandemic proofing your career. And let me tell you a little bit about her. So, first of all, welcome, Chandra.
Thank you. It's so nice to be here.
I'm thrilled to have you on because you are a certified strategic intervention coach and marketing veteran whose mission it is to inspire people to love their life. You are the founder of Glow Marketing and Glow Living. So, welcome. I'm thrilled that you're on. And my first question to you, it's funny because when we first started talking about this, one of your questions was, do you think on June 23rd, we're still going to be in this? And we are. There some
Here we
areas,
are.
yeah, some areas of the world have started to open up, but there's many areas that are still shut down. So so let's jump into what does it mean to pandemic proof your career?
Okay, yes, I agree with you. I was hoping that by now we would have even a different topic, but I think that I have a way of making it relevant even past, the actual coronavirus pandemic, because I think it's just this particular time is showing us how important it is to stay authentic to ourselves. And I think what the pandemic proofing means is taking this as a pause to evaluate what it is we've been doing, how it's actually working for us, and then using it as a potential reinvention period so that we can realign, to not only what is going to be workable out in the world, but within ourselves. Because I think that pandemic proofing means that we are not living with anxiety and fear and all that worry and about what could happen. It means that we have built some kind of stable roots for ourselves, that we are fortifying ourselves to build resiliency within our careers. So that's kind of what pandemic proofing means to me.
Yeah, so I'm going to jump right into it. What does it mean to build resiliency in our career?
I know, and I know that I've watched a few of your other interviews. I know that this has been a recurring theme, but related to careers, I think what it means is a few things. One is transferable skills. Are you, many people have invested in a certain direction with their careers, and they may not really know how it applies to, this new day and age. And so it's looking at all of those things. Can some of the things that you are doing be translated into the virtual world? Can they be moved into industries that are more pandemic proof? I actually did some research on some of those industries, so I'll share that with everyone too. What the real bottom line, Iris, is that I want everybody to leave understanding that there are tons of opportunities still out there. Stock market is way up today. I know I don't want to Pollyanna this. I mean, everybody is stressed and challenged in many ways as a result of it. But ultimately, I want people to understand that even while in a pandemic, there are ways to fortify ourselves. And by resiliency, I mean finding our own inner strength and also our transferable skills that we can apply to different ways of doing things that maybe we hadn't been challenged to think of before, but that can really grow us as people.
Yeah, and I like that you actually address that. I'm going to read in between the lines that without the pandemic, we just kind of go with the flow. We may go on to the next thing that, we're interested in. But has a time where, I remember at the beginning of this pandemic where people were saying, oh, this will be over in a couple weeks. And then it was like, well, maybe 6 weeks. And now we're 3 months in and people are saying 18 months. And so we've really come face to face with not really knowing what's coming up, of being challenged to up-level our skills to live into something new that we don't even know is going to be there. So I'm going to invite you to maybe share with our viewers, how do they keep their spirits up when they don't know what's coming up? It's like we all need this end point. Tell us when we'll be out of this and I can prepare for it.
So I know that as a psychotherapist, you have studied the human needs, and for those people who may not be as familiar with the human needs, we actually have, you know, an inner need for that level of security. But what people don't always tune into is that we also have a need for uncertainty, and we may not need it at the level that we're getting it right now, but when we realize that that actually can bring winds of change, variety to our lives, that we can go, okay, well, we can weather this a little bit better, knowing that this can bring some positive change too. Nobody thinks the virus is a good thing, right? But how we react to it, in our responses, we have to understand that there are some needs that can get met here, and some of it has to do with how comfortable we can be with uncertainty. It's very uncomfortable to feel uncertain and unsure, but if we can look at it more like about, you know, welcoming change, you know, expanding ourselves, looking at different variety of ways of existing. You know, I think that when people talk about the positive aspects of the virus or dealing with the pandemic and being in quarantine, you know, there's been many things that have come up. You know, some people feel more grounded at home. You know, they've realized how fast paced their lives were, commuting to work, having to handle family life at home, and it's just all the spinning plates, you know, their own health and fitness and whatnot. And so the way that I'm going to answer that is really about the to experience any joy or any happiness, we have to be able to be okay with being uncomfortable with uncertainty. We're not necessarily have to be happy about it. Like I said, I'm not a Pollyanna type of coach. I don't like to disown, you know, real feelings that we may be having, you know, in isolation and with fear about the future. But if we can recognize, oh, I'm feeling really uncertain right now, how can I be resourceful to come up with different ways to focus on the things that I am certain about, that I do have security in, so I can root into those things and know that I have enough roots in my tree to weather this storm. It may last longer than I'd like it to, but that I have enough to get by or to thrive even in this kind of environment.
And what I love about what you just said is that you're inviting our viewers to hold two realities side by side. The part where COVID has some horrible outcomes, loss of life, loss of jobs, loss of income, maybe breakup of families. There's a lot of divorce that's just magnified. And on the other side, you're asking us to hold with, this is an opportunity for you to look at, what else do I want? Or what is it that I want? I've gone with the flow. What can I create? And so there's some horrible things, and there's also some potential over here. And you've also talked about wanting certainty, but also needing uncertainty to be able to shake us up, have us wake up, have us create what it is we truly want. So there's a side by side of what feels like very opposite energies that we always want to be either black or white. It's either good or it's bad. But you're inviting us to have them both coexist in our reality right now.
And that they're both needs that have to be served in our lives. So we may not even recognize all the ways that we do invite uncertainty, but when we're ready to make changes, you know, that's what's driving that. So I think that maybe we weren't all ready for this, and nobody was. And like what you said, I think that the way I'm looking at it is, you know, we're in a snow globe and it just got shaken up, and we don't know where the snow is gonna to land yet. But we have an ability to co-create with it. We don't have all the control. I think we all recognize that. But we can co-create with it by starting from within and understanding, and this is one of the things I really wanted to bring to today's call, what it is now that aligns to your truth when it comes to what you want to offer out in the world. You know, I think that when we're raised and we're in school or whatever, what do you want to be when you grow up? And there's these categories and it's attached to levels of income and status and whatnot. And I think this is an opportunity to, yes, we need financial security, but can we invite it in while being aligned to what's in our heart? So I'm seeing a lot of entrepreneurs doing passion-based businesses, you know, chucking the corporate jobs and things like that, or shifting, making career pivots within a corporate, you know, environment to being able to say, well, I've built up a certain level of success doing this, that I can either go off on my own or go work for another company, or, switch industries. It may be the same type of job, but, jumping tracks to a totally different industry to learn something new, or it could be within the same industry, but a different role. So there's so many different ways of viewing it. And when I thought about what I wanted to share today, I was concerned that I imagine that your audience comes from a wide variety of backgrounds, that I'm not just talking to someone in a singular industry or a type of business or work. And so we're having to be broad here, but I can definitely touch base on some of those pivots and reinvention tools that can help them with, regardless of what industry or what job that they have.
Yeah, and so, we are a pretty broad listener base that are listening to you. And what comes up for me is the skiing metaphor. When I was a beginner skier, I'd be holding on, trying to resist gravity and not fall and miss everybody and try to stop. And my son once said to me, Mom, you don't need to stop. You just need to shift directions if someone gets in the way. It was like, wow, I don't need to stop the natural energy and the natural flow of things. It's just what you're talking about. It's requiring a pivot right now.
I love that. First of all, the snow globe and the skiing. And guess what? I'm in an Airbnb in Lake Tahoe, where it's an amazing ski area, although it's the middle of summer. But yeah, I think that metaphor of pivoting and changing course, and some people believe that it doesn't take a huge change. It may take a little shift, and then, it opens up new opportunities. So for those people who are really worried about having to, where maybe every area of their life feels like it's in upheaval, there may be, some subtle things that can be done to get back on track and not, feel the overwhelm. I think that's a big part of this, is overwhelm, right? We're overwhelmed with what's coming in with the media. We're overwhelmed with the changes that we're having to make in our lives. And we're overwhelmed with new, or maybe more intensified emotions in response to it all. And so to understand that and practice self-care. And on top of it, many people are grieving. And if you haven't lost a loved one or had somebody who, is being challenged with the virus itself, there's other things to grieve. There may be past versions of yourself, or maybe related to the career. It could be that job that you had is no longer going to be viable for you anymore. And you grieve the loss of what that provided to your life, and knowing that, you have to embrace something totally new in order to be resilient, in order to be able to make this pivot.
All right. Now, you said you had some stats that you brought. Could you share those stats with us?
I mean, I did, look at the stock market today, and it's up, and I don't live and breathe by the stock market, but I do like to see that it brings some hope when people are going, wow, I felt a hit when the stock market plummeted. And I think that's because of uncertainty, as people are starting to become adaptable. And I think that's another key theme here, is that humans are adaptable, right? People are figuring this stuff out, companies and individuals. And so as a result, shifts are being made. Some companies are going out of business, some are thriving. That the stock market is, can correct. It may, it's going to be a little crazy ride for a while, I'm sure. It always is, though, if you think about it. If we look at history, there's been lots of big waves of things, and that we've been able to recover from. And so we'll recover from this too, related to our careers. But that there's certain industries, and that's what I've researched, that are actually doing really well right now. One of my clients is a telehealth company. So they have been I was actually hired to do events. Now, I can't do events for them, so I took on virtual events and social media, became proficient in doing, Zoom webinars and, all these kinds of things that, honestly, I didn't have that skill set before. I felt that I was an events professional, but it forced me to learn new skills. I had to figure out all that technology. And I think a lot of people have fear of technology, and this is a time of embracing technology, because it's what's connecting us. We need technology, right? So certain technology industries are doing really well. Obviously anything related to communications, like Zoom and Slack and all those kind of companies. But even if people aren't really, tech focused, there are other industries. One of my friends owned a few restaurants, and I was really concerned for him, obviously. And he said that he started a cleaning business for restaurants so that they can learn and follow new protocols. And although he has these restaurants that he's maintaining takeouts and, outside eating opportunities, he added to his business by recognizing that there's a need that restaurants have for, new levels of cleaning protocols. And so that was him being resourceful, going, okay, well, I know the restaurant industry. I don't know the cleaning industry, although we clean at our restaurant. So how do we level that up? So that's an example. Delivery services, grocery services, wine and spirit services. Don't know if that's a good thing or not, but people are consuming. If you've ever wanted to create a food product, like a canned food product or a jarred, whatever, this might be a good time for that. Things like the gaming industry, obviously it's a little bit more difficult in the entertainment industry but there are ways of doing online entertainment that people they're consuming entertainment, games and whatnot. Home fitness, if you're a trainer, if you had a gym or if you ever wanted to get a personal training certificate, there's opportunities in the fitness industry. There's landscaping, if you like to work outside. So I am noticing that, and this is just a real general discussion because this audience is so broad. If we have some questions from people in specific industries, maybe we can address that. But delivery services and creating products and anything with entertainment and all of that, and coaching. We need coaches to support people through this. So I would say that the research is just showing me that there's lots of ways to take skills and make them transferable to a pandemic in a wide variety of industries.
Yeah, what I'm hearing from you is look and see what the gap is. What are people maybe craving more of now that they're limited in what they can and can't do? And does it light me up? Because I know that that's part of your message, is people being passionate and authentic. So can you expand on that piece?
Yeah, I mean, some people are choosing to go back to school and do online learning. It could either be to build a skill or it could be to get a degree. I think that it's a good time, and I'm looking at it as kind of a sacred pause, actually, Iris, where the world is realigning to a new normal, and we have to decide individually what that is for us. Like I said when before about being raised with certain ideals about what a successful career looks like, have changed. It's the time of entrepreneurialism. It's the time for heart-based businesses, passion-based businesses. It's the time for people to check in. And so I really like to use, because I've learned from you about how powerful your metaphors are, and I have incorporated that into my coaching as well. And I think that one that's been done a lot, but that's relevant here, is the butterfly metamorphosis. And that's because many of the callers may be butterflies in their own right. They've had successful careers or whatnot. But this is an opportunity to kind of go back to that goose state within the cocoon where everything breaks down and has to reform. And so that goose state is a time of uncertainty. We don't know what the butterfly is going to emerge to look like. It may have totally different colored wings when it comes out, but it's the time to imagine that. So the goo period is the time to check in and go, what do I like about what I've been doing? What are the skills that I have? What do I not like and want to, let go of? It could be a time to feel some relief, to not have to do the things that you don't like to do anymore, and say, okay, so what do I see myself doing for the next half of my life? I think that when we're in school and we're building up to a certain point, we have ideals or ideas about what that's going to be like for us. And then we're in that world for a while. And now it's our chance to go, is that true to us anymore? Is there another way that we want to express ourselves. And in some cases, it's what do we want to contribute? What service are we in to our community? And I think that many people I've seen, and why the heart-based businesses and the coaching and all that kind of stuff has really flourished, is because people want to help people. Many people want to do something that's meaningful, and meaningful to them may mean, having connections with other people and knowing that they're making a difference in those people's lives. So like you said, recognizing those gaps of what people need and then filling them with what's unique about you, what your superpowers are, what you're good at, will help you survive and actually succeed, because I think success is attracted to people who are living authentically. That's my hypothesis.
Yeah, I mean, even this whole series for me came out of, okay, we're now faced with a pandemic. How can I serve the people that I'm in contact with? What can I bring that will both inspire them, give them skills and strategies, and keep them in a place of hope where they can keep moving forward? So, you see I'm going to call it the gap between what happens and how can I fill that? For me, it's making a difference by contributing all of this sales-free, gimmick-free. There's no cost to this, but it's a give back, which in my opinion makes people feel better when they have an opportunity to contribute to another person.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful gift that you've been offering, and I'm so glad that you have an audience for it. And I hope that the gift back to you is that it grows and expands as a result of it, because you have so many powerful messages, and I've always loved that you bring other people in to expand on that. And because I think everybody has a voice that can resonate with someone. And so it may be exactly what the world needs right now, to come together as a collective to be able to offer out into the world what the world needs, which is to know that we aren't alone in this, and that as isolating as it can feel with the environments that we're in, we can find other ways of connecting. And this is certainly one of them. So,
and that's a great segue, because you've prepared a gift for our viewers. Could you share that?
Well, so one of the hard parts is connecting with your heart sometimes. I think some people just know what they want to do, and there's just no question about it. They have a passion for something, they've built the skills for it, and they've just, flown as that beautiful butterfly in that way. Other people aren't sure, or maybe it worked for a while and it no longer works anymore. And so what I've prepared is a little mini course. It's a little exercise called Connecting to Authenticity. And what it does is it really explores this idea that we're all multifaceted diamonds. We have lots of interests, lots of skills, lots of things to offer and give. And some are, put in the sun, and we move forward with them. And some are in the shadows, and maybe we haven't cultivated, or we don't want to show. And this is an opportunity to look at all these different sides of yourself, what's in the light, what's in the shadows, and then decide and move forward with, what you want to do next, what's really authentic in your heart. Because I think that, I specialize in personal branding, and this is the first step that you have to do in order to even begin to brand yourself, or to market yourself, or to get into the job market, because people want to know what you stand for. And when you're really authentic about it, and it'll just come really naturally, and people will resonate. The right tribe, the right opportunity. And so this is a mini course. It's completely free. It's really just one of the exercises out of my larger Root to Rise course. But I think it's so perfect for people who are looking to realign, looking to get to know themselves better, looking into tap into their heart and what's authentic, to build that foundation for what to communicate about what they want to attract next. So we can definitely provide a link to that. I created a link that just, goes right to my Teachable website and enrolls them for free.
And do you have the link off by heart? We're going to add it to the edited version.
No, I don't. I think I emailed it to you, and then it went out my brain. So I'll provide that later.
Yeah, we'll provide it in the edited version. We'll put it in the email out as well. And for people who want to learn more about you, where can they go?
Well, my name is Chandra Lynn, ChandraLynn, and I have a page, chandralynn.com. My main website is glowliving.com, GLOW living.com, and there's a ton of free resources there. So I invite you to go there and look at the blog, look at the free resources area. And then for my marketing services, I have a different website. It's glowmarketing.com. So hopefully that's not too many URLs, but Glow Marketing, Glow Living, and chandralynn.com. Or if you go to chandralynn.com, they're both linked off there. So that's probably the easiest way.
Perfect. All right. And we're going to add all of those to the bottom of the video when we send it back out. And Chandra, if there was one thing you would hope our viewers take away from today, what would that be?
Can I make that a compound answer? Nothing is ever that simple, right? I think it's to have hope and have hope because people are adaptable. When we build our resiliency, we can adapt and we can thrive. And, you know, there's gonna be challenges. You know, there's the Great Depression, the wars. I mean, we can point to so many different things, and people find a way to survive. And doing it together, I think, is the key, because people need each other. And that's why we're here to offer our gifts. And I invite everyone to put their gifts out there because the world needs them.
And I found the link for your gift. I've put it in the chat room. It's glowliving.teachable.com/p/authenticity-gift. You can just go into the chat room and click on it. We're going to add it to the edited video and send it out in the email. And with this, Chandra, I want to say thank you so much for the time that you've given us, for the strategies that you've shared with us, and the difference you make in the world.
Thank you so much. And if anybody wants to maintain a connection, I have other tips I can offer if you're really going after the job market, need resume tips and how to, you know, link in with people and all of that. But I have other free resources, and between Iris and I, we got you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Iris. It's so great to see you.
It was wonderful to have you on. Thank you for your contribution.
I appreciate you.